brain up and welcome to acids, bases and salts. Today we are going to learn about strength of acids and bases, and that's it. So let us start today's session. So the first thing that we are going to learn is about the strength of acids and bases, which is measured with a term called pH. Okay, there is a scale called pH scale with which we measure the strength of acids and bases. A scale for measuring the concentration of hydrogen ion called the pH scale has been developed. Okay, so what is P in pH now? P in pH means potence, which is a German word for power. So basically we are measuring the power of acid or a base. So the pH scale works on this principle. Okay, on the pH scale we can measure pH generally from 0, which is very acidic, to 14, which is very alkaline or very basic. The pH of a neutral solution, which is neither acidic nor basic, is 7 according to this scale. So the values which are less than 7, all the values which are less than 7 from 0 to 6.9 all represent an acid. It represents that the particular solution is an acid, whereas the numbers which are greater than 7, 7.1 to 14 are said to be basic, and 7 is neutral. Okay, so this is a rough scale of color that we get when we use the pH paper. We have a pH paper which helps us in determining whether a solution is acidic or basic or neutral. So this is basically a rough color schematic. Okay, based on this we can say that whether a acid is a strong acid or a weak acid, or a strong base or a weak base, or it is a neutral. So in this color schematic you can see that there are some of the important acids and bases that we will deal with in our day-to-day life. The first one we can see here is the gastric juice. You know that gastric juice is produced in our stomach when we eat food, which helps us in digestion of food. The second one is lemon juice. It contains citric acid in it, so basically this is also acidic, very acidic. Now the next one we can see is pure water and blood. Pure water is neutral, it's neither acidic or nor basic. You drink water every day, right? Does it taste bitter or does it taste sour to you? No, because it is neutral. Similarly, blood is also neutral. Don't try to drink blood and check it, okay, whether it is acidic or basic. So blood is also neutral. The next one is milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia is an antacid. What is antacid now? We'll learn in just a few minutes. Okay, it is a base. Similarly, at the last we can see sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is one of the strongest bases that we have today. Let's move on. So the importance of pH in everyday life. How pH plays a role in this world, in everyday life. Our body works within the pH range of 7 to 7.8. Our body functions in this pH range. If it deviates from this pH range, it affects our health and can cause death sometimes. So the range of 7 to 7.8 is said to be an ideal pH of body. When the pH of rain is less than 5.6, as I said you, all the substances which have pH lesser than 7, it might be 6.9 also, whatever is less than 7, it's said to be acidic. Now when the pH of this rainwater, if it is less than 5.6, then it is called as acid rain. This happens because of the emission of acidic gases from the factories, which form clouds and fall as rain in some places where there are a number of factories present. So this is a very dangerous phenomenon and it can cause deaths on a large scale. So because of this, the survival of aquatic life becomes difficult. Now this rain falls and mixes up with the rivers and other water bodies, so that particular water body becomes acidic, and the aquatic life gets disturbed in it. Means many fish die. Okay. The next place that we see the importance of pH is in our digestive system. I just said gastric juice is an acid which helps us in digestion of food. Our gastric juice is nothing but hydrochloric acid which helps us in the digestion of food without harming our stomach. Sometimes what happens is this gastric juice or hydrochloric acid is released in excess quantity and causes pain and irritation. Your parents might have experienced this and they call this as acidity. This is a general term that everyone uses for this problem, this pain and irritation. So in order to prevent this pain or irritation, we have learned earlier the chemical equation of a neutralization reaction. What happens in a neutralization reaction? Acid reacts with base to give us salts and water. So basically now in our stomach has become acidic due to excess release of hydrochloric acid. Now in order to reduce this pain or irritation, we take a base to neutralize the effect of the acid in our stomach. So generally we take this magnesium hydroxide, which is commonly called milk of magnesia, which is called as an antacid. Antacid means which is opposite to acid, which is nothing but a base. Right? So this magnesium hydroxide is taken and it gives us relief after acidity. Another phenomenon based on pH is tooth decay. Tooth decay starts when our mouth's pH level is less than 5.5. Anything less than 7 is acidic. We know if the pH is less than 5.5, the tooth decay starts. The teeth start to decay. Now tooth enamel, is the hardest part in a human body. It doesn't mean that it doesn't corrode. The pH level less than 5.5 can corrode the enamel. So we have a part in our teeth which is called tooth enamel, whose chemical name is calcium hydroxyapatite, which is a crystalline form of calcium phosphate. Crystalline form means a hard form of this calcium phosphate. So this is the hardest part of a human body. Nothing is as hard as the enamel in a human body. So this calcium hydroxyapatite is unbreakable actually, but due to this pH level which is less than 5.5, the enamel starts corroding like metals corrode. Okay, this leads to the destruction of the enamel layer and the teeth is unprotected. The shield of the teeth is lost. So the teeth is destroyed basically. So why does this pH decrease? Is because the bacteria present in the mouth start producing acids by degradation of sugar and food particles. So if you don't brush your teeth properly, the bacteria in your mouth start converting that sugar and that food particles into acid, and the pH level drops to less than 5.5, which leads to tooth decay. So the best way to prevent is nothing but brushing your teeth twice a day, which we have learned when we were small in our childhood days. Right? We have to use toothpaste to brush our teeth, and we have to brush our teeth twice a day to neutralize the acidic effect caused by this bacteria and to prevent tooth decay. The next phenomenon where we see pH is self-defense by animals and plants through chemical warfare. So some plants and animals use acids as their defense mechanism Okay, so you know a bee. If you threaten a bee, what does it do? It comes and stings you with its sting. Its sting contains an acid which causes pain and irritation. Similarly, a plant which is called nettle plant, it has a stinging hair through its leaf. Its leaves have some sharp hair-like structures which contain methanoic acid that cause burning pain. So, in order to get relief from this pain, we apply basic baking soda, which is a base, and it gives us relief. Now this is a table that I have taken from the NCRT, which is very important to remember. Questions can be asked from this table. Okay, so these are some of the acids that we find in nature, in animals or in fruits, vegetables, etc. So here we have taken, for the first one is vinegar. Vinegar is basically acetic acid. Okay, it's an acid, that's why it tastes sour. Okay, similarly orange contains citric acid. Orange and lemon are having citric acid in them, so that's why they taste a bit sour. Similar is the case with tamarind and tomato, which contain tartaric acid and oxalic acid. And we can find acids in sour milk, which is basically curd, and which contains lactic acid, and as I said, lemon also contains citric acid in it. And stings are contain methanoic acid, and nettle sting also contain methanoic acid. So these are some naturally occurring acids. Bases, some of the naturally occurring bases we can say, what are the examples of naturally occurring bases? You try it. You give me the answer of this question in the comment box down below. So this is it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please hit that like button if you like this video, share and subscribe my channel. Bye bye.